Hello everybody and welcome back to RogueTech, where we are attempting to defend these allied units over here, and there is a rifleman, a Kodiak, and this is a Rakshasa over here. We also know that there is an Ifrit, a Typhoon, and a Vulture Mark IV up here. There may be another unit that we don't know about. These are freshly dropped in. So for now, of course, we're going to take our longbow, and our longbow is going to move up over this way. The question is, what is the hit odds looking like, and why is the frame rate suddenly so low? Hopefully that'll even out. But what is the hit odds on the Ifrit here? Well, we'll find out as soon as RogueTech decides to catch up. 5%? Yeah, we're probably not going to go for that. We're probably going to go for the Kodiak here. Let's go ahead and do that. Now, our heat is going to be a little bit high, but I think that's okay. Go ahead and hit him. Beautiful.
Take that.
Some solid crits there.
Watch those heat levels.
And now it's phase 17, and so that means that one of these units is going to be moving. We don't necessarily know which one just yet. Okay, that is the Vulture Mark IV. Beautiful.
Yes,
So next up, our Boar's Head is going to step forward. And I want to look at what the flak hit odds on this Ifrit would be. Now, the Arrow 4 would probably get AMS'd. But we're going to give it a go anyway. Okay. Well, that didn't really work, as expected. We're not shocked about that. But these guys are fairly spread out at this point, and so there's not an amazing artillery target. Let's see what our allies decide to do here. The heavy artillery vehicle moves up, fires on the Typhoon. It actually mostly hits the Ifrit there. I like that choice overall. Okay. The Gauzzilla firing on the Padilla there. I think. Wait, was that the Gauzzilla? That was HA-20s. The Gauzilla's not rocking HA-20s. And the Gauzilla's also dead. That was the Rifleman. A knockdown on the Kodiak is nice. We'll see if any more allies are available to finish that off. Yes, they are. So we'll see if they actually choose to do that. They should. The Kodiak is obviously the target here. And yeah, they're going for it. That's a left torso destruction. And also, I believe that's the ECM gone. So that's nice. Unfortunately, the Rakshasa's still got one. And the Kodiak is currently panicked. The Rakshasa going for the Black Knight there. Not really doing too much. Okay. Sounds good. And then it's going to ace pilot somewhere. Yeah, down to there. Sure. That's fine. The Kodiak stands up. It doesn't have much left. The Kodiak is nearly out of commission. And it moves up, fires on the Padilla still. They're really trying to get that Padilla, but they're not hitting it. So that's nice. Another Davian Leopard. Okay. I'm still unsurprised by that. Okay.
Aye, aye.
So, the Annihilator is in position to continue hitting the Ifrit. Odds are still very low here. I think instead we're going to go for the kill on the Kodiak. So let's go ahead and do that.
Target locked.
Streak SRM ammo explosion redirected, but the mech shuts down, and I believe that was a pilot incapacitation or ejection. Yeah, fairly certain. The Trebuchet moves up, fires on the Ifrit. It doesn't get very much through, but we now see that the AMS Mark II is not enabled. So that's interesting. The Salamander is going to sprint up over this way. This gets its side arc on the Rakshasa. Now, I'm not expecting much for hit odds here. Yeah, I don't think that's really going to be worth firing AX. I mean, it might be. It's worth it. It's worth firing the AX. So we shall. Reasonable damage into that Rakshasa there.
I await your command.
The Awesome is going to sprint forward as far as it can.
Hauling ass.
And then what? Well, who are we going to fire the LRMs at is the question. 38% versus 6.2? Well, that's a pretty obvious choice.
Got it, Commander.
Now, these reinforcements will likely fall to us to deal with. As they come down this direction, we should be able to open fire on them from this flank. So that'll be the idea there, and then these reinforcements will primarily be up to our our allies to deal with. The Ifrit I'm concerned about. We'll see what it does here. If I was it, I'd go like over here and drop AoE on this trebuchet, if it's got AoE. That's not a choice I would have made. Okay. It goes up towards the edge of the map and does nothing. The Perseus moves up, fires on the Typhoon. Not getting too much done there. In fact, getting literally nothing done and failing a shutdown override.
I hear you.
Also in the category of interesting choice. The Mauler is going to move up. And we are going to fire not at the Typhoon. We're just going to brace. Okay. Phase 20. Let's see what our allies do. Cyclops moves up. Goes for what? Nothing. Goes for nothing. Okay, got it. And actually, that's a Asura Mad Dog variant. Not a Rakshasa, but close enough. Basically the same thing.
Yes, Commander.
Our Madcap Mark II is going to move up over here. And we can fire at that Typhoon. Do we want to? 44.7% on that Rifleman. And that's definitely our best hit odds. So we'll go ahead and take that.
Firm.
Some armor strip going in there. The Black Knight moves up, fires on a Centurion, and shuts down. I did not realize that the Centurion was there. We didn't have it detected previously, but we knew there was probably something up there. We just didn't know what it was. So that's fine. The Padilla moves up, fires on the Asura, and doesn't do anything at all.
Ready
Okay.
for orders.
So our longbow is going to step in here.
On it.
Now, we have 3 direct fires here. We could fire on this Vulture 4, 20% hit odds on that. We could fire on the Typhoon, 11% hit odds. We could fire on the Ifrit, 0.9% hit odds. Or, we could fire indirect on this Centurion, not worthwhile. We could fire indirect on this Rifleman, 31.5. It looks to me like our best bet is this Vulture Mark IV with the ELRMs. That'll both sink heat and have... Wait, what? Wasn't this 40% before? For some reason I was thinking that was on 40%. No, we should go for this Rifleman in that case. Just with the enhanced LRM 15s.
Confirmed.
And sink heat. So there's a little bit more damage to that Rifleman. The Bull Shark is going to step up.
Confirmed.
And I think that our best bet over here would be to fire on one of these units. It doesn't really matter which one. They're kind of all equidistant to each other. I think we're going to go for the Vulture Mark IV. That was an okay shot. Excellent.
Right here.
The Boar's Head is going to move up. Now, previously we fired this in flak mode. We're still going to go for the Vulture Mark IV. This is not going to be in flak mode. We're going to fire these in artillery mode.
Roger that.
Just trying to soften this up a bit. That was 2 very bad shots there, and no damage dealt.
Figures.
Okay. So next up is an ally. We'll see what they do. Heavy artillery vehicle moves up, parks at a jaunty angle, and fires on the Typhoon. I like it. That's a good choice. It manages to hit all of these. So now an enemy unit moves. And it's this Rifleman, which decides not to move, but calls in an airstrike right here. Okay. So they're going for the Black Knight pretty heavily there. That's not shocking considering they shut down. And we can't really respond to this airstrike. Not yet. Most of our mechs aren't within it. So that's good. But the airstrike is going to make things complicated for us, for sure. They're going for the rifleman. I like this choice. We need to eliminate that rifleman ASAP. But we can't move for a while. You can see there's an airstrike, or is that an allied unit? I think that might be an allied unit. But there is going to be an airstrike coming in soon. We should consider that our Mad Cat, our Annihilator, our Salamander, and our Mauler are all within the area. Okay, so they're hitting our friends over there. That's fine for the moment. Okay. Then the Asura positions over here. We'll see what our friends do here in Phase 12. Avatar moves up, goes for the Ifrit. AMS is functional, and shoots down every missile there. Okay. More Davian mechs on the field, as expected. Let's see what those are. We see an Atlas 2, we see a Marksman. Okay. We don't see anything else over here at the moment. That Marksman is probably a pretty high priority target if we could see what's on it. Sadly, we don't seem to be able to. Okay. Well, it's Phase 30 right now, so who's moving in Phase 30? Probably the Ifrit? Yeah, that's the Ifrit. I would imagine it's going to come in and hit the Black Knight, right? No. It continues to move away. Strange. Trebuchet moves up, fires on that Azura. Gets a decent number of hits there. Okay. Centurion moves up, fires on our friend's heavy artillery vehicle.
Battle mech power up detected.
Yep, that'll be the Black Knight. Here they come. We never got a chance to respond to this. Which direction are they coming from? Rear arc. Exactly rear. That is obnoxious.
I'm under heavy fire. I'm being flanked.
Indeed. Well, we had no way to respond to this at any time. Okay. So far, this hasn't been too bad. And that one hurt a little bit. Okay. So now we finally get a chance to respond to this to some degree. So, our Salamander obviously has to move up this direction, right? This is very clear. We're going to move in and position like this.
Confirmed.
We're going to Vigilance it, because it'll be quite exposed to this Atlas and this Marksman. And we're going to hit this guy super duper hard here. Now, his armor is already weak on this side, so I don't think there's a huge amount of point in firing AX rounds here. We're going to fire Improved.
Got it.
Okay, he's just gone.
All primary targets down.
Excellent. So that's the unit that was calling in the airstrike. We're hoping that there's no additional airstrikes. Cyclops firing for the Azura there, and actually getting some really solid damage in there. Making the Azura unsteady. It looks like the airstrike is indeed over. Our friends are now headed for evac. Does that mean they're going to stop shooting? I don't know.
Commander.
Our Annihilator is actually able to hit the rear arc of the Azura from where it's at and has really good hit odds. I'm even going to Warlord to boost our clustering here. And let's do this.
Firing at enemies.
That's a dead Azura.
That's a kill.
Beautiful.
Battle mech power-up detected.
Okay, so the Perseus powers up. We know that we've got the Atlas and the Marksman over here. We know that we've got these 3 units up here as well. And we've got the Ifrit up this way. That's not too bad. We can clean this up. The Typhoon moves and fires on the Perseus. Of course, the Perseus just started up, so it's not super shocking that they hit that.
Waiting on you,
Our
Commander.
Mauler is going to make its way out over this direction.
No need to tell me twice.
At this range, we're probably only able to fire the light AA missile rack. Yeah, so we're just going to brace.
Yes, Commander.
The Awesome is going to sprint up over this direction, which gives us eyes on multiple enemies. We can see the Atlas, and we can see the Centurion. 32.1 versus 14.2. We are going to Warlord and fire on the Centurion.
Affirmative.
Okay, he's getting some AMS in there, but that's not too bad. Base 23. The heavy artillery fires on that Typhoon and doesn't really do anything. Okay. Base 22. This will be the Vulture Mark IV, which does have a structure exposure. But let's see what it does. Interesting choice. Not one I would have made, that's for sure. Okay, next up is our Madcap Mark II. Our Madcap Mark II is going to move up over this way.
Position confirmed.
And is this our evac zone? No, this is a Merrick evac zone. This is the other Merrick evac zone. And our evac zone is, I think, this one. Yeah, that's our evac zone. Okay, so we're going to fire on the Vulture Mark IV here. We will go ahead and Warlord to boost those hit odds a little bit, and we're going to see if we can get a crit in there. And we did. Right torso destruction.
Commander.
Excellent. So there's a unit that we don't see. That'll probably be here. Because only 2 dropped in here that we see. We expected 4. So I'm guessing that's here. But whatever it was, we never saw it.
I'm here.
Okay. So our longbow is going to step forward. We have rear arc on something here. This is the Typhoon. We probably don't care too much about that. We're probably just going to hit the weak side arc here of the Vulture Mark IV with our ELRMs. Yeah, let's do it.
Locking on.
This will be at least a knockdown. Beautiful. There we go. Our friend the Madcap Mark II moves up, goes for that downed Vulture, misses both light Gauss, or I'm actually not sure that those are light Gauss. What type of Gauss are those? Have they ever hit with them? I don't think so. What type of Gauss do you got, Mr. Madcap Mark II? Regular Gauss. Okay. Sounds good. Next up is going to be the Avatar. It moves up, fires at that Vulture Mark IV. Gets a little bit of damage there, but not too much, all things considered.
Standing by.
Our Bull Shark is now going to step forward.
Moving to position.
Our target is the Atlas Mark II at this point.
Engaging target.
Good hit. Good armor reduction. I like it. Okay. Next up, of course, is
Yes,
the
Commander.
Boar's Head. The Boar's Head will step forward. And we're going to also hit the Atlas too. This would be an overheat. We're not going to fire the LRM.
Affirmative.
Another set of good hits there.
I'm melting in here.
Okay, so now is going to be the Marksman. Now, this tank is pretty dangerous, and it's probably going to hit the Salamander, which is why we Vigilanced it. So let's see what it does here. It moves up. Doesn't fire. I definitely expected it to hit our Salamander there, but okay. Now is going to be this Atlas. The Atlas moves up. Doesn't fire either. Odd choices there.
Watch the skies, watch the skies!
Okay. So the airstrike is less over than hoped.
I just realized
But we're okay for now.
I'm sitting on the fusion reactor.
For now.
I'm taking heavy hits, Commander.
Indeed you are.
I'm deep trouble.
Well, we killed the unit and the smoke disappeared. Historically, that's meant that the airstrike was over, but I guess not in this case. Again, though, it didn't really do all that much damage. It could have done a lot more. Okay, sounds good. So, our Salamander is going to stay where it's at, I think, because I would like to hit this Atlas side arc here. I'm going to re-Vigilance the Salamander because I do think that it might take a lot of damage this round. So we're going to re-Vigilance the Salamander. We're going to fire on the Atlas 2 with perhaps AX rounds here. Yes, we're going to use AX.
Target confirmed.
And that's some solid damage into that Atlas. Now, we don't have Ace Pilot. That's fine. The Black Knight moves up. Doesn't do anything of note. I would have really liked that it take out this Vulture over here. The Ifrit moves in, goes for the Treb. This could be a kill. But it's not. Interesting. The Treb moves up, goes for the Marksman MBT. I don't love that choice, but I guess it's okay. Phase 29 will be the Centurion, which closes in and goes for the SM2. Does a little damage there. Okay. The Cyclops moves up, goes for the Atlas 2 rear arc. Again, I don't love that choice. I'd love to see them get some kills up in that northern lance.
I'm ready.
They're just free kills as far as I'm concerned. The Awesome is going to move up over here.
Rolling.
And are we going to fire on the Atlas? Probably. The Atlas is probably the choice here. Yeah. We're going to hit that Atlas as hard as we can side arc. This is in its side arc that was weakened by our AX rounds.
Engaging target.
He does have cover plus bulwark, so that does impede our damage pretty extensively. We don't see anything else over here just yet. They have a Phase 25 mover. That'll be the Typhoon. It moves through fire and doesn't attack. Okay. Madcap Mark II moves up, goes for the Vulture. Still doesn't manage to hit those Gauss. They've not managed that one just yet. What else are they going to move? I'd love to see this Vulture die. This is actually a decent artillery target. The Padilla moves up, does not fire. There is an enemy unit that we don't yet see moving in Phase 23. So we'll see what that is, eventually. I'm guessing it's to do with this lance. Has to be, right? Ah. It's a Seth. Wow, words are hard. It's a Seth.
My armor is getting ripped off.
We are definitely going to be able to take that out. And we're going to
Awaiting
utilize
order.
our Annihilator to start that. So the Annihilator is going to position here in this cover.
Loco.
And we're going to hit this Seth. Not very hard. That's not very good hit odds at all. Why are these hit odds this low? No visuals, huh? And target moved. 9 evasive. Wow. Okay. That's a lot of evasive. Well, for now, we'll just go ahead and hit this Atlas.
We'll go.
That is a structure exposure. And an SRM ammo explosion there.
Take that.
Okay. 9 evasive is insane. We'll see what our ally does. The artillery vehicle here fires on the Vulture Mark IV. I like this choice, but I think it missed. Yeah, it did nothing. Okay, so our Mauler can position somewhere like over here. These hit odds are still quite bad on the Seth.
You betcha.
Yeah, extraordinarily bad. We're going to go for the Atlas here, and we likely are going to see a kill. So we'll Warlord this just to try to guarantee it. There we go. 1 dead Atlas. So this Seth is going to need to be taken care of, sooner rather than later.
All out of LRMs, Commander.
683 armor on it, huh?
Yes, Commander.
Okay, well the Magcat Mark II can move up over here.
Affirmative.
Now, we could go for the MPT, or we could go for the Seth. Hit odds are very low on the Seth, but I think we're going to go for it nonetheless. We want to start softening it up. We'll not fire the enhanced LRM-15s. I don't think there's a huge amount of point. Okay, that actually did a little bit more damage than I was expecting. The Vulture Mark IV stands up. Our allies completely failed to eliminate it. And we, of course, have units over here to deal with at this time. So our allies are, to some degree, on their own. Let's see what that Vulture Mark IV decides to do here. So far, it's not really doing too much. Just attacking that Padilla. Not a big deal there. And then the Vulture ejects. Okay, sure. That's one way to do things. The Bull Shark is, at this time, going to position up over here. And we might get some splash damage from this, but we're going to fire flak on this Seth. We have to hit it.
Copy that.
Yeah, we do hit ourselves there. We hit the building, which actually shielded the Seth. That was really unfortunate, but we now have a clear shot here. Now, this is another unit that we don't yet see. So the fourth unit from this lance. Is that another stealth bomber? We're not sure what that is.
Major armor loss. I don't like how this is going.
And here comes another airstrike, I think.
Reporting
Maybe not.
Damage.
I think there is going to be more airstrike, though. The Boar's Head is going to position out over here.
Roger that.
And we have to hit this Seth. We have to. Okay, so we're not going to fire the Arrow 4 due to heat.
Locking in target.
Really? Went straight through it. Okay. Sure. The Avatar moves up, fires on that Ifrit. Doesn't really get much damage done there. The 9 evasive pips are hard to deal with on that Seth. There's no doubt about it. So the longbow is, at this point, going to turn up over this way.
Roger.
The longbow's taken a lot of armor damage. We're going to vigilance it. We have to fire at something. The Centurion might be the best hit odds here, but I think we're going to fire at the Seth nonetheless. Not necessarily to do a bunch of damage. We're not going to get a lot of damage here, but rather to bait out AMS. And now we know that there is some AMS there, for a fact. So now the Marksman is going to move. Okay. We need to deal with this thing, but 9 evasive, that is tough. The MBT moves up, fires on the Salamander. Looks like it's running a Gauss rifle Blackwell. That's not surprising.
I'm getting blown apart out here.
Okay. So that's fine for the moment. And here comes that airstrike, I think. Yup.
Guys, those aren't our planes.
Well, this should be the final airstrike. I don't think there's going to be more.
Losing armor.
So far, the Annihilator's fine. The Boar's Head is fine, too. It's the Longbow I'm concerned about. The Bull Shark is also fine.
Taking minimal damage.
I'm being flanked.
This is what I'm concerned about. That was a lot. They saved their missiles for that shot, which I don't blame them. The Longbow is definitely not doing too well. But I believe this is the final airstrike. There shouldn't be another one.
More of this.
That's an interesting choice. It attacked ground there with its missiles. Very strange.
Not much armor left in that location.
Okay. For now, we're fine. So, the Salamander is going to want to back off of this point. And these hit odds are abysmal. We may have to take a round from the Seth. And if it attacks the Longbow, how dangerous will that be? Fairly is the answer. We're going to reserve. The Trebuchet moves up and goes for the Marksman. Okay, that's fine. Now, the Seth doesn't move until phase 22. We're waiting for it to move so that hopefully next round it doesn't have 9 evasive. Phase 30 is probably going to be the Ifrit. Yes. So we'll see what the Ifrit does here. If I was it, I'd hit this Black Knight rear arc. It's a pretty obvious choice if you ask me. Any moment now, Mr. Ifrit. There you go. Hitting the Cyclops? Okay, sure. Dropping some mines there as well. That's a lot of heat onto that Cyclops. Okay. Well, the Perseus moves up and shoots at the Seth. Not a choice I would have made, that's for sure. Okay. Phase 28. That's going to be this Centurion. Moves up and fires on the Padilla. That's fine. We don't care about that. Now it's our turn. We are going to reserve again. Cyclops moves up. Goes for the Ifrit. It just sensor locks it. The Black Knight moves up. And sensor locks the Ifrit as well before going for the Seth. I don't care for this choice, but okay. I think that our allies are misplaying right now. Okay, the Padilla moves up. Doesn't do anything of note. Heavy artillery moves up, goes for the Centurion. Doesn't get much done there. Should have fired in flak mode at the Ifrit, in my opinion. But okay. One more reserve here. So we'll do that, and now the Seth will move. This could be very, very painful. But let's see what it does. Who does it go after? Well, they move the Typhoon. And they don't fire with it. Okay, so we'll reserve. Fingers crossed that he doesn't get too much done here. What's he gonna do? We also hope that he doesn't have 9 evasive after this. 9 is an absurd amount of evasive to have, for the record. Okay, buddy, what you gonna do? Any moment now. Any moment now. Okay. Goes for the longbow. That's fairly expected. That wasn't too bad.
Losing armor.
Okay. And he has 5 evasive this time. That's much easier to deal with. Okay, so our Mauler is going to move in over here. I want to check ideal ranges. We're probably actually going to position the Mauler over this way.
On my way.
And the Seth is not the best target, I suspect. Yeah, I think we're going to go for the Marksman here. Our heat is going to be way up there. Actually, that's not too bad. Sadly, we missed both Gauss, but that's not super shocking. Okay.
My heat getting pretty high.
The Avatar moves up. Goes for that Ifrit. Gets some solid damage in there. I like it. That Ifrit doesn't have very much armor left. Okay, now whatever the unit is over here is going to move, and it's also going to fire at the longbow, I'm willing to bet. This could really start to hurt. Let's see what it's got. Okay, that's a Cascatel. It moves up, and it does indeed go for that longbow.
I'm hit.
Fully expected. It gets a head hit there,
I can't take much more
but
of it.
actually we're reasonably okay. And these two are grouped fairly close together. Fascinating.
Orders.
Okay, so our longbow is going to position out over here. We're going to vigilance it again. We could fire at either of these. We could also fire rear arc on this Typhoon. We could fire side arc on this Centurion or front arc on this Ifrit. 40% there. Technically, this is probably our best bet to go for the Ifrit. So that's what we'll do. But we need to eliminate all of these aircraft. That's a structure exposure on that Ifrit. So that's not bad.
Yes, Commander.
Next up is our Annihilator. The Annihilator is going to step over here. Its only real choice is to go after one of these. And the Seth is our best option. So we're going to do that. Okay, we baited out some of that AMS. That is a good thing. Next up, our friend the Madcap Mark II walks up, goes for that Ifrit, and actually takes it down. Beautiful. So they've got the 2 units left over here. These are not hugely threatening units. These 3 are.
Commander?
Our Bull Shark is going to step up. We are going to fire on the Seth here in flak mode. We're going to Warlord to boost those odds. And we might hit our own units. That is a chance we've just got to take.
We'll go.
Nice. We did not hit our own units, but we did splash damage the Cascatel. That's exactly what we're looking for. The Madcap Mark II is going to position over here.
Coordinates received.
And we're going to be able to go for either of these. I think our hit odds are slightly better on the Seth. So let's go ahead and do that.
Fire.
Structure exposure on the Seth there.
Target's taking a critical hit.
Okay, so how much HP is on that Seth? 42? Okay,
Let's
good
do
to
it.
know. The Salamander is going to remain where it's at. It's going to turn like so and vigilance. And then we may go for the Cascatel here. Yes, our hit odds are actually better on the Cascatel. So we will do exactly that.
Engaging weak target.
Decent armor strip there.
Ready for orders.
The Awesome is going to move in.
Roger
And
that.
what are our hit odds best on? Probably the Marksman? Yeah, it's the Marksman. So we'll hit the Marksman here.
All weapons are go.
I was hoping we'd have a little bit better rolls on that Marksman, but that's okay. The
Yes,
Boar's
Commander.
Head is, of course, going to hit that Seth in flak mode again. We'll even fire the LRM.
Engaging.
Okay, so that's the Seth down.
Enemy down.
The Cascatel has taken a fair amount of armor damage, but it is not dead yet. It is challenging to hit, no doubt about it, and that Marksman is going to move now. Let's see what it goes for. Of course, we're not going to be reserving next round, that's for sure. Come on, Marksman, any moment now. Figure out where you're going. There you go. So he takes burn damage, fires on that Cyclops. Just gets armor damage there. Cool.
Retreat.
Okay, the Black Knight moves up and gets knocked down. Okay. The Trebuchet moves up, goes for the Marksman. Not terrible there. Gets some decent crit damage in there. Tracked propulsion destroyed on that Marksman. The Perseus moves up, goes for the Cascatel, gets a structure exposure there, and does a lot of damage to it, actually. That was a good roll. Next up, let's see if we get anything done here. Yeah, that's a successful shot on the Centurion. And neither of these move just yet. Centurion moves up, goes for the Padilla. That's not concerning at the moment. Cool. Cyclops moves up, goes for the Marksman. I was really hoping that would be a kill. Sadly, it was not. That Marksman is very, very low, though. Okay, so the Cascatel has to be our target, right?
Commander.
The Salamander is obviously going to finish that job. Like, I think there's no way that we don't finish it here. We're going to not fire the medium lasers due to heat. It still dies. There we go.
One less.
So that's off the table. Phase 24. Madcap Mark II moves up, fires at that Centurion. It does actually hit one of those Gauss rifles. So that's something. Now, we can eliminate the Marksman pretty easily here. If it doesn't die to this. It didn't. Okay.
I'm receiving you.
So the Awesome is going to move up and finish the job on the Marksman. It has basically no armor left. And this is a small overheat. We're going to not fire these.
Confirmed.
There we go. The Marksman is out of here. Cool.
Enemy destroyed.
2 enemies remain. The Avatar moves up, fires on that Centurion, and gets a structure exposure on it. Not bad at all. Okay.
Standing by.
Our Annihilator is not really in a position to do anything with that.
On the move.
There we go.
Waiting for order.
Our Mauler is, so we can
Right,
move
Commander.
up and we can fire the Heavy Gauss at the Centurion. We may or may not hit. Let's see.
Got it.
Nice. That's an engine destruction, and that is 1 dead Centurion. All that's left is the vehicle.
Commander.
So the Madcap Mark II is going to sprint forward over here.
Roger.
And the Longbow is going to step forward. And of course, we're just going to lob LRMs out at this Typhoon. It's a long ways away. We're not going to get a lot done there. But that's good for our ELRMs. The
Awaiting
Bull
orders.
Shark is going to just stay put, and we're going to fire in artillery mode, the Long Tom. Wow, tab isn't working. Okay, so we'll have to scroll all the way up here and click on the Typhoon. Sure. What do we got? An okay hit. Cool.
Right here.
The Boar's Head is also going to be in artillery mode.
I'm there.
Now, this is going to build heat a little bit, isn't it? Nope, that's sinking heat. Perfect.
Locking in target.
So let's hit our artillery out here, or rather miss our artillery almost entirely.
What's the heat?
Another airstrike coming in? I think there might be another airstrike. There shouldn't be, but there might be. The Padilla is firing at the Typhoon. I'm not sure if it hit anything.
Waiting for
Okay,
orders.
so for now, the Awesome is going to just head down over this way
Affirmative.
and not really do anything. We're out of range. Heavy artillery vehicle, not shooting. And what else do we have? I mean, the Typhoon is going to move here. It's got very little armor left, and it moves through the fire there, losing even more armor. Hitting everything on that Cyclops. Literally everything. Yeah, we only need 1 unit to survive. We lost 1 unit there, which is sad.
Yes, Commander.
That was some unfortunate rolls, but also they turned their back to the Typhoon, which they shouldn't have done. So, it is what it is.
Yes.
Okay,
Commander.
the Salamander is not really in a position to do much of anything. We're just going to back off of this hill here and sink our heat. Hopefully our allies actually attack that Typhoon. That'd be nice. The Black Knight's getting up right now and not doing anything useful.
Good to go.
The Mauler is not able to get into range over here. Madcap Mark II sensor locks the Typhoon. Okay, that's kind of handy, I suppose. The Madcap Mark II, our Madcap Mark II, is going to step forward here and fire its HA-20s, as well as its enhanced LRMs. Will Warlord boost those odds? The Typhoon's armor is very low, so there is a possibility here.
Firing all weapons.
That is a structure exposure.
Solid connection on
Cool.
that one. My Gauss rifle is empty.
And the Avatar moves up, also fires at the Typhoon. This could be a kill. Destroys the left side wheels, but it's not quite a kill.
Awaiting orders.
The Bull Shark is going to drop artillery on this Typhoon, and this is probably a kill.
Taking the shot.
Yep, there we go. Let's get out of here. Sad that we lost 1 mech right at the end there. Not us. Our allies lost 1 mech right at the end. I'm not sure if that's going to cause us to lose out on a bonus. It might. Like I said, we've never done that scenario before. The longbow took a lot of damage. Nothing major, but it will take a while to put back together. It's not going to be that expensive, but it will take time. It's mostly armor that it lost. And a little bit of internal structure. I don't think it lost any actual components, so that's fine. Yeah, look at that. That's going to take some time. Just checking here. Yeah, nothing even got crit inside of it, so that's a little bit lucky there. I feel like we weathered the airstrikes pretty well, even though every single one of them hit pretty hard. They want the vulture parts and half tons of AX ammo. That's fine. I accept. I do like that AX ammo. It's good. It's very good. No doubt about that. So what do we got here? Any moment now. I know there were a lot of things in that mission, but let's see. AMS flares, AMS Mark IIs, advanced AMS. Do we have an advanced AMS? We have 2 of them. Okay. So that's fine. There is a Gauss rifle HA-20, which wouldn't necessarily be the worst thing to take. We don't have one of those. So for now, we'll grab one of those, and let's see what else is in here. We're probably going to go for that half ton of MRM ammo. I wanted to check, what did I skip over here? Nothing too major. There's a flak FCS and a Gauss sniper FCS. Those are pretty good, but we're going to hope to roulette them. It's pretty unlikely. There's a lot of stuff here. And I think we're going to go for that AX ammo. There we go. So we'll confirm that. An AMS flare. I mean, it's always nice to have bolt-on AMS. A Clan LRM-20, that's solid. Machine Gun Plus, we'll get rid of that. A compact heatsink, we don't use those. And a Narc beacon ammo, okay, sure. So there are definitely some mechs that took some reasonably sizable damage, and it's going to take time to put that back together. There's no way we're going to deploy before the next financial report. I can tell you that right now. We're going to have the Fafnir back in like 5 days, which will help. The longbow is going to be out for repairs for, I'm guessing, at least a month. Like, bare minimum, a month. It took a pounding. There's no doubt about that. They had those 2 stealth bombers, and it got hit by every single strafing run. So, yeah. They did not like the longbow. Fair enough, the longbow does a lot of damage. But, we're fine. We didn't really take any sizable, painful damage. We've got plenty of cash. We can repair. This isn't a problem. However, we should consider moving to another world. If these repairs are going to be long enough. I suspect they will. I'd like to move to a world that isn't Comstar controlled and is maybe 1 skull harder than what we've got here. I don't want it to be hugely tougher, but a little tougher. 72 days, 510,000 C-bills. That's not too bad. So let's go ahead and get started on that. Any moment now, Yang. There you go. And with that, it is well past time to put a cut in here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we are going to think strongly, very, very strongly, about moving to another world. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings. And I will see you all next time.